Hit this thing. We are live. Yo, what it do, homie?
Chilling, man. A lot going on out here. It's a lot going on out in these streets right here, man.
Man,
So we
this is
got a lot to get to.
we got a lot to unpack tonight, man. Yo, I did not know. I just came from the gym, of course, playing ball. I was rushing to get back in here.
Right.
One of my young boys told me, man, Jim Jones dropped the album on Friday, man. I did not even know
Wow.
that. So I got some catching up to do.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna have to check
definitely.
out and see what Jimmy talking about, man. Jimmy has been the most consistent guy from Dipset for years.
Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
years. So I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to seeing what that sound like, man. But
Yeah.
apart from
Yeah.
that, homie, what it do out there, man? How's the weather out there in Philly?
Shoot, snowed again today. You know what I'm saying? This one was kind of light though, so this wasn't too
Yeah,
bad. You know what I mean? For you had to do a little shoveling, throw a little salt down, but
yeah,
everything's still moving. So I just like, I think this might be the last blast that we get. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? For this month, next month, I don't know, but this month I think, yeah, I mean that'd be it.
man. I cannot wait till the spring come back, man.
Yeah.
I
Good.
love the winter, the wear, the dress in the winter. You know what I mean? The sweatsuit weather.
Mhm.
But other than that, I'm ready for it to get warm again, man.
Right.
This weather been crazy for the past several weeks now.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And it's been crazy all over the country. So, you know what I'm
It's
saying? Ain't nobody really catching a break here.
Indeed, indeed. Yo, man, we got a lot to unpack, man. So let's go ahead and get with the shits, man. I
Mhm.
know we've been talking behind the scenes all day about this topic, and it's the Cam Newton, the Cam Newton versus the kid, man.
Right.
So, so what are your thoughts, man? This kid is out of Pennsylvania, man. He's out of
Yeah.
the Philly, right? He's from Philly.
Yeah. I mean, he said he rep 215. I'm like, I think he's one of these kids who wants to be from Philly, but he actually, yummy, lives in the suburbs.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, cause what like I didn't reached out to all the youngins. They were just like, man, he ain't from no Philly. I mean, he from out there in like Limerick somewhere. That's like an hour away. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and then I thought about it. I'm just like, yeah, like when the kids are going to go, they be like, yo, take me to the outlet mall. He live out that way. The outlet mall is like an hour away, literally. Like,
Right, right, right.
so he out there somewhere, but I just like, man, cloud chasing. You know what I'm saying? This is classic example of cloud chasing. Classic.
Where was the camp? Was the camp in Philly?
No, the camp, you know what I mean, was in Massachusetts. Since
Okay.
Cam moves the camp wherever he was playing.
Ah,
So, you
okay,
know what
okay.
I'm saying? When he was in Carolina, you know what I mean, a number of years,
Right.
he had it in Carolina, he had
Yeah,
it in
Spartanburg.
Georgia,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, Alabama, all
yeah.
down that way. Now, you know what I mean, he's part of the Patriots, so he moved it up there, you know what
Okay.
I mean, for I guess for this year or whatever. And I guess, like, man, he has a chance to get some of those Northeast kids. So these
Yeah,
are like probably new kids for him, probably
yeah.
New York, Philly, probably, I mean, Baltimore, DC,
Tri-state
stuff like
kids.
that. Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And them kids up there in Massachusetts and all of that. So he
Yeah,
probably had all of them, to come up there,
yeah.
or whatever. I'm gonna get right to it. This kid is a true clown. I mean, he just is. Like, is and before anybody says, "Oh, he's just a kid," no, he's not. He's 15. You 15. You kind of know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, not that you're an adult and not that you would actually think things out before you do them, but you know what you're doing initially when it happens. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right.
So don't give me that it's a kid BS. He's not
Right,
5 years old. He ain't 7 years old. He's
right.
15.
Facts.
He's almost an adult now. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Oh, is it Myrtle Beach? Okay. All right.
It's in Myrtle
All right.
Beach.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I know he moves the camp around. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? I know he moves that camp around. Okay.
What they do?
Myrtle Beach. So
So
anyway,
okay.
this kid,
Becca, what?
gets invited, right? And they're doing 7-on-7 drills. And you know what I'm saying? The kid just start mouthing off like I'm it's one thing if Cam just said something to him,
Right,
right?
right,
Like, but this kid really just start popping off like, yo, you ain't signed and what I
right,
mean, you're a free agent and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, like who are you talking to? Like, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So I was initially like, that looked, just crazy to me. And then when Cam gave him the attention, then it was like, oh, now he want to backtrack and he
Right,
don't really
right.
want to stand on it because Cam was just like, where your father at, man? You know what I mean? To be disrespectful like that, you know what I mean, to an adult. I'm just like, yo, where's your dad? Who was teaching you this stuff? Like, why are you here? I'm
Right.
like, if Cam would have just had him thrown out the camp, yo,
Yeah.
it's not like he wouldn't have been right in doing that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it was
Right.
a teachable moment for the kid. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I'm like, after the whole exchange and all of that, I'm like, man, now you're getting lit up on social media and everybody's going at you. And you know
Right.
what? You wanted the smoke.
Yeah.
Don't run scared now. This is what
Right.
you wanted.
Right. Man, I look at it like this, bro. Like when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is embarrassing because, we from the 80s, right? We 80s
Yeah.
babies. You know what I mean? And it's a respect code. Like I remember when I went to a few camps. I went to under 5-star camp, and anyone who know about basketball back in the early 90s, mid 90s,
Yep.
5-star camp was like the shit. Like if you got the 5-star camp, you got some, you can ball. And
Yep.
I had a chance to go to 5-star camp, where to come back to school wearing, the 5-star camp yellow and white shirt. So
Right.
everybody
Right.
can know,
Right.
like, yo, he went over, he was out there.
Right.
And I remember me and all my homeboys who was there with me, we always had respect for anybody who came, any special guests, no matter how big, small they were. We had respect for them.
That's right.
Nowadays, these kids, they don't have respect at all. I know, Mark, you and I talked about this before behind the scenes and everything around how these kids are, and they're so disrespectful. And just to give you a quick story, like last week I was playing ball, and this kid, he said something slick, right? And I was like, yo, man, I'm not that one. I'm not one of your little friends around here. Like, yo, don't be
Exactly.
out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? And me having that conversation with him, he kind of froze up a little bit. And I had this other young kid came up to me. He was like, yo, he called me other day, yo, unc, you ain't gotta worry about that. We got you. Like, I'm like, oh, what you mean by that? So I got these young little riders were telling me to fall back. They can take care of, their
Yeah.
peers. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I say that because there's no accountability with these young kids no more. There's no accountability at all. They don't have anyone in their crew to put them to the side and say, yo, fall back, chill out, relax. They're egging them on because they know the camera is on. They know TikTok is running. They know
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is running. And
Right.
now they're trying to get clout. They're clout chasing. So tonight's theme is clout chasing because this is
Yeah.
the first order of clout chasing. And
Right.
Cam did the right thing. He disrespected Cam. Cam did the right thing, tried to talk to him. He was embarrassed. You know what I mean? So when you get embarrassed like that, of course, what happens? Ego start kicking in. You want to get
Mm-hmm.
louder and louder, get more flamboyant in front of your friends, not realizing like, yo, this is unnecessary. Like
Yeah.
he probably hurt himself before he got a chance to even start a career. Because
Yeah.
now college is gonna look at that like, yo, this kid got some issues. You know what I mean? He out here fronting in front of people with Cam. Cam is a good guy in the community. Forget what he does on a football field. Forget if he didn't have a good season. He's doing a good thing for the kids. And for
Mm-hmm.
this kid to come out the side of his mouth and disrespect him like that was corny, man.
Yeah.
But there's no accountability. These kids got no respect at all.
Yeah, it definitely was corny, man. It's just, my thing is that, listen, for people who think like, oh yeah, well, this will blow over, and I mean it will to some degree. But here's the
Right.
thing: like, if this kid does have a shot, at playing in college at any college level, right?
Yep.
I'm just like, yo, this incident be like, yo, this was from 2-3 years ago. Guess what?
Yeah.
It's going to come up. You know what I mean? It's going to come up. And when you see stuff like that, I'm telling you, they will hold it against you. You know what I'm saying? I see it happen with the NBA all the time where, oh yeah, a kid gets in a shouting match with his coach. And then
Right.
all of a sudden, guess what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he was supposed to go first round and he went in the mid-second round, no guarantee contract. Yeah. Yeah, that happened.
If
You
it
know what
gets
I'm
to,
saying?
if it
One
gets to
incident.
that, yeah,
One incident. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Would just push your stock down. And then number two, it's just like for him, I'm just like, listen, kids all over especially all the kids who play high school football, they all seen the video.
oh yeah,
They waiting to light your ass up. They waiting for it. Please have them on the schedule.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
So the thing is bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, that happened. I talked to my nephew, you know what I mean, earlier today, and his friends. They all play football, right?
right,
One of his friends is just like telling me, like, yo, he's just like, listen, yeah, I mean, Uncle Mark, this boy trash. Like, look, yeah, I mean, for this boy couldn't cover me. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even trying out there, right?
Right,
So I'm
right,
just like,
right,
everybody going to try to go after him. So it's
right.
like, man, with the school he goes to, Springhouse or Promokian Valley or whatever,
Yeah,
anytime he on the field, they're going to try to light him up.
yeah,
And
as it should,
this is
as
the
it should.
attention you bring. You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah,
you kind of do that and it goes against you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's just like, why do it? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm like, you got your clout for 15 seconds, but now, you know what I mean, for you got to answer on the field, and then it's just like, oh, he's a kid, but guess what? A
Right.
college coach, junior college coach, or whatever, ain't going to forget it.
No.
And one thing about football, you know what I mean, sports in general, but especially football, man, everybody uses everything as motivation, right?
Do.
So what you think? The coach ain't gonna be like, yo, this the kid who was talking crap to Cam Newton. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I want you, you know what I mean, to knock him on his ass. Like
Right. Right.
that
Right.
that's gonna happen. Shoot,
That's,
if I'm coaching football, that's
right.
exactly what I'm doing. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Any kid that
Right.
tried to talk trash against one of my teams, I like this the kid that was talking. We
Right.
shutting him down.
Because it's a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Like you saw some of the players, they were tweeting today. They were like, "Yo, this is our fraternity." You know what I mean? Like you talk to Cam like that, you disrespect all of us. You disrespect everybody in that profession. And
Yeah.
again, I think Cam did the right thing the way he handled it. He was trying to get the kid to understand, like, "Yo, this ain't the time or the place. Let me talk to you." And the kid was still mouthing off. But
Mhm.
then later on today, he went and tweet an apology. I don't think that was him. I think that someone had to get some PR in there, of course, and they wrote that up eloquently for him. But I don't think that was him. But
Mhm.
again, in hindsight, does he really feel apologetic about what he did? Probably not. He got more attention than he thought he would get. He thought they was going to be like isolated because you got your friends around there. You got a couple of people probably taking pictures and got you on Snapchat or whatever. He didn't realize this thing
Mhm.
was going to hit the web the way it hit. So now you got people clowning him like, yo, I think somebody posted a video of him
Yeah.
getting trucked. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
people are already starting to take their digs. And this is the part where you got to be, it's a fine line, right? Because now you're going to start having people possibly cyberbullying him and
Mhm.
people that's probably going to try to go at his head. I don't condone that. So you got to be careful. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But again, like I said, tonight's theme is cloud chasing. So you
Right.
go out there and you want to get that clout. There's a lot that comes along with it. Like old boy said
Mhm.
last night episode, my first time watching Snowfall. So don't throw jabs at me. My first time watching
Nah, you gonna
Snowfall.
catch up. You gonna catch
Hey,
up.
hey, when Unc said, yo, when you got this coke, there's a lot that come along with this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, there's a lot that
Absolutely.
come along with this. So
Hmm.
when you're looking for that clout, you're chasing that clout, there's a lot that comes along with it. Be
Yeah.
prepared for that other side of it, though. So
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
this story is going to continue. We'll see how it plays out.
Hmm.
Hopefully, everything can kind of get back to a normalcy for him, for Cam in the camp, and hopefully they kick the kid out. Hopefully they just, say, what, you don't have to be here, and
Yeah.
just kick him out the whole camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what do you
Absolutely.
think? You think they should let him continue to move forward as a
I,
learning experience, or what?
I mean, for me, I don't think it should be just a death sentence. Like, this incident defines everything about, what I mean, for real football for him or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, at 15, guess what? You know what I mean, for real, you and I both had, learned hard lessons at 15. You know what I mean? We both
yeah,
had to face consequences at 15. If this
yeah.
is a consequence that he gets kicked out of camp, you know what I'm saying? Then you know what? Hey, it is what
Hey,
it is. You know what I mean? For real, maybe if you get a chance to get invited to another camp, maybe you will conduct yourself a little bit better.
right. Do the right thing. Absolutely. So we're going to keep it in the NFL, man. We're going to go back to this. We're going to stay in the city of brotherly love, man. Philly is all in the news for the wrong reasons, man. For the wrong reasons.
Right.
So we're going to stick with it, man. We're going to stick with the Wentz trade.
Yeah.
Any NFC East people out there watching this, are you happy about Wentz getting out the NFC East? I, for one, I am happy that Wentz is out the East. I think that Wentz was a solid QB. I think that he got railroaded in Philly. I think that he certain things happened that was out of his control, and I think there was some things that was in his control he didn't handle well. But nonetheless, I think the guy does have talent. I think that he's going to do really well with the Colts. I think that him going into the Colts is going to really give him an opportunity to show what he can be. But we got to see what happens, man. What are your thoughts, man? You're a Philly, you're a diehard Philly.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna say like this, right? Just the dynamics that were set up, it's no way that he could have survived not being traded.
yeah, I agree.
He didn't listen to the coach.
Uh-huh.
He was calling his own plays. And see, here's the thing with Wentz. This behavior actually worked for him for a couple years until it did. And this is why you shouldn't conduct yourself like that, because eventually it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when when you just like, yo, I'm not listening to the coach, I'm gonna do what I want to do, right? I'm like, it's rare when a player can get away with something like that for a long time and it don't affect them. Aaron Rodgers has had run-ins with his coaches, but guess what? He still turns out to be Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Carson Wentz, you are not Aaron Rodgers. So you cannot do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think that whole situation, like if you had an experienced front office and a team owner, that is like, look, we're gonna step in here, we're gonna settle this down, we're gonna right this ship. I think you'd be okay, but they too much for the politics and all the other stuff. And this is why this is not a well-run organization. I mean, this is my team, but I know what a well-run organization looks like and what it doesn't. And the Eagles do not look like a well-run organization. And they failed, because they could have got this under control a long time ago, and they chose not to. And I'm like, if you have your coach and your quarterback not on speaking terms, and your quarterback saying, I'm doing what the hell I want to do, and you ain't stepping in, then you're a bad organization. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Do you think that this tarnishes a little bit as far as free agents wanting to come to Philly for a discount, or do you think this kind of plays a factor in that in the future?
I'm gonna say like this, right? I think I'm gonna say like this now for the for the players who are familiar with the new coaching staff, right? I think those players will still come, right? But for the players who are not familiar with the coaching staff and just kind of look at it from the outside, they're talking to ex-Eagles, they're talking to people like that. Yeah, it could affect them. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, all right, well, look, I got a contract on the table with the Eagles. I got one from the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? They talking to the NFL homies. Yo, man, I think you signed with the Dolphins. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing, right? With this front office, and particularly we talking about Howie Roseman, right? He's very good with the numbers, right? But here's the thing, what I say. As a GM, the first thing you should be good at is evaluating talent. The numbers come second, because you can get guys to do the numbers. You can get guys to do the analytics. You know what I'm saying? You can hire a staff, to run. Like numbers, it's just like math. 2 + 2 = 4, right? Yo, how do we get under the cap, right? You get these numbers, guys. Yo, look, we're gonna have to release this guy. We got to restructure with this guy. We got to do this and do that. Okay, Howie, he's good enough to do that by himself. That's fine. But you can't draft well, and then you always have to pay free agents, for it to stay afloat. Then you got a real problem. You're not a good GM. And if you cannot hit in the draft, right, I'm just like, yo, you're gonna have a hard time really getting to the top again. You know what I mean? For now, the Eagles had a number of things that kind of worked their way. You know what I mean? For to get to the Super Bowl, they had guys who, were a little bit disrespected. You know what I mean? In the other situations, yo, let's come to Philly. Let's see what we can do here. You know what I mean? We like this Wentz kid. He looks pretty good. We probably can work with him, whatever. Wentz is young. He's eager to learn. So they had a nice combination of things that came together at the right time. You know what I mean? And that's how that championship was able to happen. But then it's just like, all right, now we got to repeat it. And now we got to do this and that. Then that's when all this shit unravels, and it starts at the top. You got a meddlesome owner, and you got a GM, we can't evaluate talent. That's two things that just don't work. No. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But I would say like this, for Wentz, I think it's a good trade. What he'll do in Indianapolis, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll do pretty good. I think, he has Frank right there. This is who he, went 11-1 with. You know what I'm saying? This was the guy. So I think he'll do pretty good there. Um, I was just like, man, and I think he'll stay healthy. You know what I mean? To be honest, I just think that, but
Stacks.
he can't go against what Reich is saying. This ain't Doug Peterson, man.
Yeah,
Listen to
they'll
Reich.
bench him.
Listen
They'll,
to Reich.
yeah,
Yeah,
they'll bench.
they
Wait, they
not they're
won't.
not they're not gonna take no mess off of them.
They're not gonna take
And
them.
I'm telling you, new
Yeah,
coaches don't take mess off of players. You
nah.
know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, you see what's happening with the Sixers. You know what I'm saying? Ben Simmons is buying in because he got a new coach, and his new coach almost tried to trade him. You know what I mean? Before the deal fell through.
Right.
So, dude, you can be dealt at any time if you don't buy in. He's buying in, you know what I mean, and it worked. But that doesn't happen for everybody. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to see that happen.
it's definitely to be continued, man. It depends on how this thing play out. I mean, we can't say who won the trade. On
No.
the surface, it looks like it's a dead even. Because the incentives that can actually be laid out for the Eagles, they could get a couple of first round picks if Wentz hit those marks, which he possibly can,
Mhm.
because the Colts had a pretty good staff over there. So we got to see how this play out by next 2 years. You'll see how this actually play out. And
I'm a
we'll look back and say who won this actual
Yeah.
trade if it was a dead even swap.
Well, I'm gonna
And
say like this. I think right now I got the Colts ahead of winning this trade right now because we have a GM that doesn't know how to draft, right? And I'm just like, listen,
pretty big,
I mean, you can learn how to evaluate talent, but
right?
you really have to study.
Right.
Like, I do it,
This,
I do this in basketball and I've been doing it for a number of years, but it's not easy. It's something that
yeah,
you really have to work on. So I'm just like, if Howie's committed to doing the job, I mean, but you got to really go at it day and night. You got to follow every single player. You really have to be on your shit. If he's
yeah.
not willing to do that, then he's going to lose any trade that he's involved in. So right
This
now,
year
I
draft
favor
is
the
big.
Colts, but we going to see what happens in this draft. And I'm trying to tell you, if he screws this draft up, you know what I mean, then you already know what it is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
So going to the association, man.
Yeah.
Um, this AD thing is starting to get a little bit. Got some Lakers fans out there nervous, man. I'm talking to some Lakers fans
Yes.
at the game tonight, and they were talking crazy, like, "Yo, we can get this, we can get that." I'm like, "Yo, you can't get those pieces right now. They want Boogie, they want JaVale McGee back, they want Dwight Howard back." I'm like, "Yo, you're
Hmm.
not getting those pieces,
Right.
man. You may not get anything right now." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Dude was like, "Yo, we can get Blake Griffin." Like, it ain't gonna fit. That's not gonna fit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
right now, you got to be careful because the Clippers, although they lost last night, they're looking really good. Watch out for the Clippers, and you got to watch out for Denver. So there's some teams in the West right now that are looking really good. And the Brooklyn Nets, whoo,
Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
you
That
better keep your
offense is
eyes
huge.
open.
I'm, I'm
Your
trying to tell
eyes
you, man, and I'll tell you somebody else. You know what I mean? That you might want to,
open.
watch
Wow.
that's coming from the back end. Them Toronto Raptors.
Yeah,
I'm like the
yeah,
Raptors are playing
yo,
very well right now. And here's
yo,
the thing: they're playing so well that they're just like, listen, Kyle Lowry, right, has been out of the lineup. You know what I mean, in and out of the lineup. They've won every game with him not in the lineup.
right,
So they like, listen, we really don't need him.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not at his price tag. I'm just like, man, but going to the Lakers, here's the thing that I worried about coming off, the championship season and free agency. This is the one thing why I was like, okay, I'm looking who they're adding, right? They added some offense, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So I'm like, but here's the thing. You lose Dwight Howard, you lose JaVale McGee. From a rim protection standpoint, all you have is AD to block those shots. You know what
That's
I
it.
mean? Throw that stuff out the air. And I'm like, with him down, now it's just like, man, it's open season in the middle. And I'm gonna
Oh,
tell you like this: like if if I'm a team playing against the Lakers, I'm going in the paint every single time. You cannot
absolutely.
stop me. Montrezl Harrell is too small, and Marc Gasol's a little too slow. No disrespect to those guys, because on the offensive end they can do some damage, but defensively they cannot block shots. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? And this is why you hear names like Mo Bamba from Orlando. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They're trying to take a look at him. They want to reacquire JaVale McGee, who's on the block. Dwight Howard staying with us, so
He's
he
not
ain't going
going.
nowhere. You
He's
know
not
what
going
I'm saying?
anywhere.
But
Yeah,
I'm just like, man, but
absolutely.
they need rim protection. And we don't, and the thing is with AD, it was supposed to be a 2 week injury, 2 weeks turned to 4 weeks. I'm like, what's really going on with this? I don't really know. And
'Cause
they're
you
being quiet about it too.
right, they're being very quiet. You got to be careful with AD because AD, he is injury prone. You know what I mean? I was telling the guys tonight at the gym, I said, look, this is not the bubble. This is different. You're playing a lot of games right now, back-to-back games,
Mhm.
and it's an aggressive schedule. Like, I know everybody wanted, I know Stacks a big Lakers fan, and y'all want, Lakers to win again, and you want LeBron to be the MVP and all this and that. But dude, that team is not like you gotta think about it. AD goes down, you're starting to see exactly what the Lakers are. You know what I mean? This is not the bubble. This is not where you got some other players out there. You don't have Rondo anymore. You don't have
No.
those pieces anymore. You don't have Green anymore. You don't have those different pieces that help weather the storm when they had hit some turbulence. Right now, they are who they are. You know what I mean? Montrezl Harrell, he was a six man. What's the other boy, the other point guard they had, who was a six man
Um,
as well?
yeah, they
Um,
had him, Avery Bradley. He
yeah,
didn't play in a bubble, but he was important in getting that regular season. For the where it needed to be before COVID happened. So
right.
I'm
And
just,
the
Rondo
stats
too.
point,
You know,
as Stack said, now you're talking about went from a calf to Achilles. There's a lot going on with AD, and again, AD is a big man. The big men, they heal different when it comes down to
right.
these injuries. So you're kind of at a crux because you can sit him into the playoffs, but when he come in the playoffs, he's going to be cold. You're talking about trying to
Mhm.
get him reacclimated to this game speed, and you got a team like the Clippers who you can tell where they're playing right. They're hungry right now. Again, they lost last night, but they are playing different this year. I see a difference in the Clippers this year than I saw last year
Right.
because this year they got embarrassed. So now you got PG-13 who's playing like PG-13 again. You
Right.
got Kawhi solidly having a great season, and you got the other role players that are really filling the gaps. So there's a lot the Lakers got to kind of figure out before everything gets crazy. LeBron, to Stat's point, the MVP it's still in his grasp. If the
Yeah.
Lakers
Yeah.
go on a crazy run right now, which I hope they don't, if they go on a crazy run right now while AD is out, this is an opportunity for LeBron to seize the moment. Right
Right.
now, they're playing up against a lot of good teams in the West. The West is starting to come around. They look like the West all over again.
Mhm.
And it's starting to look real thick. I don't know if that's because of the way the games are being played now. It's not a lot of pressure on these guys because you're seeing teams score 130, 140 points. So it's not
Yeah.
that much pressure on these guys to really perform in front of a crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But LeBron can easily still be in the MVP race. It's a pandemic P. You can sack stupid. You can still see that LeBron has a chance to really turn the corner and really
Mhm.
put the team on his back. I just know if he can do that because you're talking about increasing his minutes, which is a risk at his
Yeah.
age. I don't care how great you are, Father Time always catches up. So it's interesting to see how it's going to play out, Mark. I'm really interested to see how it's going to play out after the All-Star game and see if we're going to have any issues with the Lakers moving forward. I hope they do.
And
I
I,
hope they
I'm
do.
I'm gonna say like this, the guys, and I understand, it's just rumors out there. They're looking at Boogie Cousins, they're looking at Blake Griffin. They need to go after defensive big men. You know what I'm saying? You don't need Boogie, you don't need Blake Griffin on that team. They have enough offense already. They need
Yeah,
defensive players, man. You know what I'm saying? Defensive front
yeah,
court players. So, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm just like, I understand it's the Lakers, and I understand, you like the big games or whatever. But look, man, defensive front court players, don't mess this up, man. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what you need, and that's what they need. And if they go after a Blake Griffin and a Boogie Cousins, and it's just like, oh man, how come we ain't really doing nothing? Because you didn't
Right.
address the defense, and that'll be a problem if you don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, man, that's to be continued. Again, I hope they go on a 15-game losing streak, win one, and go on another 15-game losing streak. I'll be so happy about that, man.
Yeah.
So and Mark, we at our point at the halfway mark. We're about to
Halfway
go
mark. Okay.
our fast five segment.
Right.
All right.
Right.
My bad, Stacks. Our fast five segment. This is something we kicked off last week for the first time, and we're going to keep rolling with this. So
Yeah.
this is just our quick hot takes on some of the
Okay.
things that's out there in the news. The first one, Juwan Howard, man, your boy Juwan Howard out there in Michigan, man. The resurgence of the Michigan program, Wolverines program. What you think, man?
I'm like, man, the way that they are playing, they are just playing well. Juwan Howard is an excellent coach. I actually wanted to see him get a shot in the NBA, but it couldn't have been any scripted any better.
Absolutely.
He's putting in work at Michigan. You know what I'm saying? And you're talking about a guy who had recruiting classes affected. You know what I'm saying? He lost Isaiah Todd to the G League. He lost
Yep.
another guy to play pro, overseas. So when you counting on big prospects, to make things happen, and
Me
then
too, Stacks.
he's coaching with this group, and this group is really, doing their thing. I'm just like, man, how can you not be happy for that? And then, the
Yeah.
big win yesterday over Ohio State. I mean, to be honest,
Huge.
I like, man, they're right there at number 3, right behind Gonzaga and Baylor, who are undefeated and have 1 and 2. But I think Michigan can give either one of those teams a nice game. So
Absolutely.
I'm just like, man, he's coaching so well, and
Yep.
he has those guys really playing some tough basketball. I mean, they know how to score, they know how to
Yep.
move, they know how to win. I just love what he's doing. I love,
Me
and
too.
the culture's back. You know what I'm saying? Because when the Fab Five was there, when he was playing, you know what I'm saying? They were ranked in the top 10, top 5, and now
Yep.
he has his team ranked in the top 5 once again, man. I think it's going to be nothing but good things for Juwan Howard moving forward this season and seasons beyond.
If anyone deserves it, it's definitely him, man. Good dude, really good dude.
Yeah, definitely.
So Stack's boy LeBron is about to produce an album. He he was like, yo, I feel like I got a good ear for music, and I think I want to put together an album. Man, get that out. Man, I don't want to even hear that trash, man. Get that shit up out of here, man. Yo, because all this is gonna take for LeBron fans be like, yo, he produced an album. Jordan never produced the album. Like, yo, man, get that up out of here, man. Yo, MJ was in the Remember the Time. Was he Remember the Time video?
Remember the time, you know what I mean? No, was it? No, wait a minute. It was the Space Jam thing. The
Space Jam
with
joint,
Michael Jackson.
Space Jam joint. Until LeBron can get in the video with Michael Jackson, yo, get him up out of here, man. We don't want to hit on the LeBron album, man. He said he's not rapping or singing. He's going to produce an album. Yo, get that dude up out of here, man.
Listen, I'm gonna say like this, right? I think this album's gonna be dope, and I'm gonna just tell you.
No, it's not, Mark.
Right?
No, it's not.
Listen, this dude is gonna have Listen, LeBron's gonna do like he does in the NBA. He's gonna recruit everybody to this album. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the star of stars. You know what I mean, on his album. You're just like, well, what did he do? Well, he recruited everybody. That's what he did. He'll have 16 tracks, 16 features. You know what I'm saying? No, not 32 features. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be double feature, by everybody, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, he's gonna have everybody on this album. I guarantee you, it's gonna be all the new guys. It's gonna be every old school guy that he liked growing up. You know what I mean? Shawn, listen, I'm trying to tell you, Nas will find a way to be on his album.
Yo, man, relax.
Like, look, I need Nas. I need you, boy. I need
relax,
you.
Man. Relax. He might do the Sunshine remix, man, with Jay, man. He might do that Sunshine. I know that's Stack's favorite song, man. Sunshine with Jay. He gonna do that. He gonna do the remix of Sunshine, man. Yo. Yo, but get LeBron up out of here, man. Him and his Yo, Shaq is hating on the big men of today, man. Like, yo, what's wrong with Shaq? Yo, Shaq is really bugging. Shaq big men don't have those skills, man.
I'm gonna say like this, right? I was gonna come on here and slam Shaq, but you know what? You know what I like in this too, right? I'm gonna give you 2 examples, right? Listen. You know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj was a fan of Lil' Kim, and Lil' Kim shut her down back in the beginning of her career, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And that hurt Nicki. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guess who did that to Shaq? Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain shut Shaq down. You know what I mean? Oh, Mr. Chamberlain, sir, and everything. And Wilt just took all kind of shots at Shaq. He like, I think George Muir sound better than Shaq. Yo, Shaq was so mad, you know what I mean, when that happened. And I think that's why Shaq hates all big men now, you know what I'm saying? Because of what Wilt did to him, you know what I mean, long time ago. I'm like, Shaq, you don't have to be like that. You don't have to be like that.
Yo, Stack, you're right. He's getting worse than Paul Pierce, man. Like, look, Shaq is an all-time great. He's one of the greatest big men that ever played the game. He was one of the most dominant figures on a court. You know what I mean? He was lazy as shit, That's why he never really dominated like to the level of Michael Jordan or anyone like that or that ilk. But Shaq got to chill. He got to relax, man. The game is different now. There's no such thing as a true big man in the league anymore. When Shaq was playing, you had big men. You had Mutombo. You had Ewing. You had these guys who were like Olajuwon. They were the prototype big man. They played in the post. You know what I mean? You had the mid-range jumper. You had the turnaround hook, the turnaround J or whatever inside the perimeter.
Right.
Now these big men, you got 7'7" guys shooting threes. You got old boy. I mean, KD is really a big man. You know what I mean? Playing a wing position. You know what I mean? So the game has changed. I'm not saying it's better or whatever, but the game has changed where there's no reason to have a true big man. I think Embiid is probably the closest thing to a big man from the Shaq era. The only difference is Embiid can hit free throws with ease. Shaq struggled there. And Embiid can actually shoot the jumper really, really well. But I think he's probably one of not many true big men in the league right now. And that is really skill. I'm not talking about just a sorry big man. I'm talking about a skillful big man.
And Shaq came at him too. So I'm saying? I'm just like I think it was a game where Embiid, like he had like I don't know, like 26 and like 15 or whatever, right? Well, how come he didn't have 35?
That's crazy, man.
Like Shaq,
you right, Stats.
I'm like, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Let it go. Let it go. So now we got T.O. Now I put H-O-D.
No, take your
Yo, spell check. Yo, T.O. on a Hall of Fame and Megatron. Let me ask you this, because I thought about this earlier, man. Who would you rather have, T.O. or Megatron?
I'm taking T.O.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that, okay?
Okay.
So would you have T.O. or Megatron if they had the same exact situations?
T.O. had better situations. You know what I'm saying? Megatron was stuck in.
Thank you, Stacks. My man.
Megatron was stuck in Detroit, and they never won. They never gave him anything. Matt Stafford was stuck in Detroit as well until recently. Detroit just was a loser franchise, and they never put the right things around him. T.O., if T.O. was in Detroit, he would have forced his way out a long time ago. Y'all trash, and I'm not playing for y'all. Not that I agreed with everything he did, because he forced his way off of every team he was ever on. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? But I mean, he could ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, you got to separate his personality from the skills, right? Hall of Fame is based on how good you are, not, oh man, do I like him as a person? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't anything malicious that he did. He just, just did like annoying things and would talk shit. I'm like, if you can't take that, then you know what I'm saying? You're very thin-skinned. I'm like, me, I'm just like, look, he could play. We know he could play. And I'm like, he's coming at Megatron because he's just like, look, how is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? I'm not. And I agree with him. You know what I'm saying? I agree with him. How about that?
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree. Statistically, T.O. outweighs Megatron. You know what I mean? But you also, again, that's why I asked you in the beginning, who would you rather have, T.O. or Mega? Me personally, I would have Megatron. I think Megatron is unguardable. I think you put him, if you would have put Megatron in T.O.'s situation.
In his situations, he'd be a lot better. I understand.
Be a lot better. Because you think about, if you have Megatron the year y'all had T.O. and McNabb. Megatron he doesn't create a rift in the locker room. He was a great teammate. That alone outweighs a lot of the nonsense that you have to put up with T.O. I had T.O. in Dallas.
Yeah.
And by the time he left, it was a mess. You know what I mean? He created a lot of drama. Megatron came to work, did his job, and get up out of there. And he was unguardable. He just didn't have anything else around him. He didn't have a legit running back. He didn't have a good O-line. He didn't have a complimentary receiver.
Or number 2,
or even a tight end. Like, it was really just Megatron. And he still was able to get yards, touchdowns, etc. Just Dolo for Dolo. So, again, I love T.O. I think T.O. was a great talent. I don't like the stuff that he does. Let it go, man. Hall of Fame now, bro. You're forever in a Hall of Fame. Let it go, T.O. Let it go.
I agree. I agree with that.
Our last Fast Five is Drew Brees' return, man. do we care? I mean,
I'm
yo,
gonna say like this. To me, to be honest, I think they really asked him to return. I think part of it was him, but I think more of it was the team. Um, they thought the kid backing him up, Taysom Hill, will be able to take over the reins, but he's
yeah,
clearly not really a real quarterback. He's
he's
more
not.
he's more of an option type of guy, right? But he's
Yep,
not somebody could take over or whatever. And I remember saying this before, and I remember before they played the Eagles this year, right? I just like listen. He's just like, yo, man, I remember people tell me, yo, that Saints defense tough, but I was like that quarterback ain't tough. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, he's going to get exposed in this game, which he did. Because I'm just like, all you had to do is guard the underneath stuff and make him throw downfield, which he cannot do. You
that's
know what I'm
it.
saying? He's not good at attacking downfield. And if you box him in where he can't get out and run, he's just not all that good.
Yo,
Um,
Stack's
and if,
crazy, man.
I'm gonna tell
I
you,
agree.
yo, listen, I'm
Yo,
gonna say like this, right? Really, who should get the shot is James Winston, but they
yeah,
don't give
facts,
him the shot.
facts,
But I
facts.
think
Jim,
after this year playing under in that quarterback room with Drew Brees,
yeah,
being coached by Sean Payton, I'm like, for the few limited plays he got in, those
yeah.
plays were very successful. I was just
Oh,
like, man,
no doubt.
I like that should actually be your guy going forward, but
Yeah,
they don't want to pull that trigger because the optics of it. Oh man, y'all playing James Winston. Guess what? This ain't the same guy who threw 35 interceptions. This
facts,
ain't the same guy.
facts,
So
facts.
leave that be.
Here's a crazy thing, man. I heard on the radio. I forgot who was talking about it. I pick up bits and pieces of it, and they made some valid points. They said we talk as if Sean Payton and Drew Brees had a dynasty down in New Orleans. They only got one Super Bowl ring.
Right.
It was the Super Bowl one time. You know
Mm,
what I mean? In all those years that Drew Brees played for the Saints. And we talk as if they have a legacy down there, and they really don't. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, there's not many coach and quarterback tandems that has a true legacy outside of the GOAT, Brady and Belichick. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is kind of like, okay, yeah, man, you did your thing. You had a good run, but what did you
right.
really do? You know what I'm saying? I look at it like that with Drew Brees, and Drew Brees is a good dude. I met him, took
Yeah.
pictures with him, and everything. Has good conversation with him. Really good dude, man. I know it's hard for him to want to give up the game because he loved the game. The fact that Drew Brees had played on this level and what he went through early in his career and where he's at now, he's a legend. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer easily, hands
Absolutely.
down.
Absolutely.
But like Stacks mentioned earlier, it's gone. Like he can't get the ball down the field anymore.
Nah.
Like Drew Brees, like the old Drew Brees that we know, he doesn't threaten you. You don't go on the field and say, "I got the game plan because Brees is going to kill us on the back end of the football field." That's not
Mhm.
going to happen anymore. Winston gives you a better shot. If you're the Saints, and if you are as good as we want to say Sean Payton is, he gives you better opportunities on the offense to score than Drew
Absolutely.
Brees at that stage in his career. Unless Brees going to have some surgery over the summer that's going to kind of get him better or whatever the case may be, I just don't see it happening. I'm surprised he's coming back. I know some people in New Orleans, they're like, I told my homeboy, is he a big diehard Saints fan? He's
Mhm.
like, yo, I wish he would have just retired. I don't want to see him like this. And I'm hearing that a lot. So
Yeah.
much respect to Drew Brees. Hopefully he has a decent season. Not too good, because again, Cowboys all day. But hopefully, he have a decent season, man, to go off in the sunset the right way.
Yeah.
Not with the Super Bowl, but just have a decent season, a
Right.
healthy
I got
season. All right, so that's our fast five for the night. That's our fast five. We're going to just wrap this thing up with the last two big topics that we want to get into. Again, got to go back to Philly, man. Philly
oh,
again is in the
goodness.
news for the wrong reasons,
Yeah,
man. Shit,
absolutely.
in it for the
Absolutely.
wrong reasons. I put on here Meek is bugging.
Yeah. Because he is. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get right to it. You know what I mean? The Kobe lyric, it was whack. It was out. I mean, for like it was out of bounds. You know,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say like this: if some time passed, right, and it was just a whack lyric, I would just call it a whack lyric. But
yeah,
enough, time did not pass. I'm just like, the city's still reeling. You know what I mean? For real, fans of Kobe, and this is, I mean, fans all the way around the world. A lot of the
right.
players, you know what I mean, loved them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know, to throw Kobe name, you know what I mean, for like, oh, you know, and I understand you say, yo, I ain't mean it like that. But
Right.
the thing is, we not accepting that though.
Right.
Well, I
You
don't
can't.
care how you meant it. We ain't
You can't.
accepting it though. That's the point.
Right. Right.
You know.
Right. I
Oh,
think when I
mm,
heard the lyric, I was like, yo, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he tweeted and put LOL at the end of it, like, people bugging out because of the lyric LOL. Like, yo, come on, me.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
relax, man. Fall back. Like this,
yeah.
yo, I
Yeah,
don't
but you
know,
know,
man. I don't know.
it's clout chasing, man. Again, and we're coming back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, oh yeah, well, people are talking about the song, you know what I mean? Because I got the Kobe lyric in there. They wouldn't be talking about the song, you know what I mean, if Kobe, you know what I mean, for a lyric wasn't in there or whatever, right? I get it, you know what I mean? But I'm like, yo, like for the level of star you are in the rap game, you shouldn't need the clout chase shit
Not
anymore.
at all.
You know what I
Not
mean?
at
You
all.
already famous. You already got the money. You already have, you know what I mean, some of the best producers. You have, you know what I mean, for real, Jay-Z, the legend, you know what I mean, for real, schooling you. You don't
Yeah,
need this type of attention at all. Like, you
not
know what
at
I
all.
mean? Like, man, you know what I mean, for real,
Unnecessary.
and 6ix9ine running into you and oh goodness, in the beef with Whack 100, none of this is necessary for you. None of it does anything for you. You know what I'm saying? So why be involved? Why be involved? And
Yo,
that's my point.
you gotta use your better judgment. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, like the things that we're hearing about Meek in the news right now, it's irrelevant to music at this point. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And the last record I heard of him was that Gloria Estefan joint. You know what I mean? Like he did that. It didn't really hit. And then that's when you saw him on I think it was Instagram bunny hopping for the billionaires or whatever. Then you see the whole thing, the running with Snitch Nine. Then you saw the Whack 100 thing. Then you see these Kobe lyrics. Like, son, you're like, yo, fall back, man. Like, just take a step back and
yeah,
relax. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Everything that he's doing right now is bringing unwarranted attention that he
Yeah,
doesn't need, because it's not about the music right now. It's not about the talent that he has. It's about the shenanigans that he's pulling right now. And I know, Mark, I told you earlier, like even with the Kobe verse, right? Keep in mind, we're just a year removed from the Kobe situation,
yeah,
right? And it's still tough. It's tough for a lot of people. It's tough for his family still. It's tough for everybody in the community because Kobe was Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's really tough for people to process that at this stage. And you come back and you make that whack line. I'm not even gonna repeat the line, but you
yeah,
make that whack line. And by the way, Kobe's from Philly. Meek, you
yeah,
from Philly. You know better. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He's gonna
absolutely.
put himself in a situation where Jay gonna start separating himself from him. Period. Jay gonna be like, yo, one or two more incidents, and it's cut off time. And Jay would do it because Jay got a brand. Jay
Yeah,
brand is bigger than Jay at this point. He's not. He's gonna cut bait if he continues to pop up in these bad settings.
yeah,
It's bad business, man.
yeah. And I would say like this: some things are out of Meek's control, but the things that are in his control, don't think, yeah, I mean, for the Jay-Z won't address them
Yeah,
as the OG that he is. He's going to address them like, and I
yes,
understand like, yo, man, the 6ix9ine thing ain't my fault. Okay, I'll give you that. But the Kobe thing, that is your
yeah,
fault. You know what I mean? For real, you going back and forth with Whack 100,
right,
that is your fault. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So why are you engaging him? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Okay, he threw a shot at you. Okay, do you have to defend yourself on everybody who throws a shot at you? And then you gotta understand before that, you had the situation with Pound Hop Pop. Like,
right. What are you
ooh, like,
doing?
like, yo, man, how much of this is gonna go on? I mean, at some point you gotta grow up, man. Like, dude, you in your
Got to
30s, man. You ain't 20 years. You ain't the
no,
baller from Birch Street no more. You,
no,
you know what I
no.
mean? You in your 30s, man. Come on, man. Get it together.
You gotta relax, man. I mean, I'm gonna just leave it at this. Clout chasing goes different ways. I know you and I talked behind the stage about this one as well. Back 100. If you know someone is clout chasing after you, let them go, man. Just don't say anything. You know what I mean? Silence is your best weapon in a
Yeah,
situation. Even when the whole thing was Snitch Nine, silence is your
yeah,
best weapon. You run into them. You had no choice. Don't respond on Twitter. Don't go
yeah,
anywhere. Don't go on social media to attack this clown kid. You know, this is a kid. Yeah, I mean, don't set yourself up. So, you know, again, hopefully Meek can get himself out of this and lay low for a little while and get some of this bad attention off of him. But you know, maybe he can.
And I'm gonna say like this, you know, you know what I mean, for you know, and not to bring his name up, but I mean, we talked about it, I have to bring his name up with 6ix9ine, right? Listen, he's not making any music anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's not making any music, any good music anyway. You know what I mean? He put the music people in jail. He already did that. So there, you know what I mean? So he's not doing anything musically. You know what I'm saying? So what, you know, why is he there? He's there to agitate you to get you put in jail. Right. You know what I mean, not just Meek, but any rapper, you know what I mean, should know that by now. That he's there to get you put in jail. He's there to get you jammed. So I'm like, man, and here's the thing. We just watched Judas and the Black Messiah, right? To be honest with you, 6ix9ine is like the 2021 version of what, you know what I mean, for real, you know, that Judas character, William O'Neal. He's the 2021 version of that, because he's there to get people jammed. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? When the feds are done with 6ix9ine and they just like, oh, he can't help us make a case, they're going to just they're just going to turn him loose, and then he's really going to have to protect himself. There won't be no security, anything like that, because he's already ran out of money by then. So you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, guess what? The record company, even though they gave you money, they're going to take it right back, because that's what I mean, that's how them contracts work. Right. I mean, now no hits for us, we want our money back.
We want our money back. Get up out of here.
We take it from them.
Yeah. And that's a good point, Mark. That's a good point. That's a good point. Because to your point, you know, this guy, and again, I don't wish no ill will on no man. You know what I mean? No man, no woman, no one. But he's out here talking crazy, you know, to gangsters, right? And he ain't got touched. There's a reason for all of that. You know what I mean? And I just leave it at that. So, you know, you're right. You got a point. That's a great point, man. You know, again, clout chasing is big. So don't be a clout chaser these days, man. It's going to end up catching up with you. It's a big price to pay sooner or later.
It doesn't end well.
It doesn't end well, man. It doesn't end well.
Not at all.
So, man, I'm ready to dive into this Hip Hop Uncovered, man. Episodes 2 and 3.
Oh, 3 and 4. 3 and 4.
I'm sorry, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Damn, Mark, right? 3 and 4. I was mentioning 1 and 2, 3 and 4. No.
Right.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yep.
Yo, those episodes, man.
Yeah.
They started in the West Coast and they stayed there for a while, and I was loving it because it reminded me. Stacks and I always said this. We've been saying this for months. Thank you, Stacks. I'm on some shit today. Damn, thank you, Stacks. Stacks, I've been saying this for months, that we were afraid to go to the West Coast because of the Boys in the Hood and because of South Central and playing, you know, movies like that. Don't be a menace. I mean, a menace to society, stuff like that. Yo, it really showed me why I was still afraid. And to this day, I think I'm afraid again. Yo, it was crazy out there in the West Coast because cats were getting shot over nothing. Like, you walk in on the wrong block with the wrong color, and if you don't say the right thing, you pop. And it was nothing. Bodies were being dropped. And in the midst of all of that, the way they were able to uncover everything in Hip Hop Uncovered, it was like you had someone like Big U, who was like the OG, where no one bothered. But he wanted out the game, but he didn't know how to tell his homies, yo, I want out the game, because they all like connected with him. I never realized how much he connected all of the rolling 60s who were like prominent, in that area, man, West Coast during that time. And like for him to connect them just by knocking some dudes out in prison, you talking about like, you know, OG and someone that got true clout, not chasing clout, but who got really good at true clout. That was dope to me. I really enjoyed those episodes, man. It was like part of the best. I was really tuned in, man. It was about 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, you know, 2 hours for each episode. Yeah, so you had a good 4 hours worth of work in that thing.
Yeah, because you know, I was texting like, yo, like, yo, man, dude is going, Asian Jack start going, you know, on pot. I'm like, yo, this is not no pot. Like,
I'm gonna tell you, man, 2 things that stood out to me. Big U, he jailed with Michael Harris, Harry O. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The guy who started Death Row. And
Death Row.
actually, you know what I mean, what a lot of people don't know, started Rap-A-Lot Records. You
Yeah.
know what I mean, for
Harry
Jay
O.
or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And I understand, you know, they have a little beef or whatever, but the seed money, this is what they say, was given by Harry O to start Rap-A-Lot and Death Row Records. So I was just like, the fact that him and Big U, they jailed together, Harry O really kind of showed him how to be a businessman, which I
Right.
loved, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, you know, even though Big U is Big U, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I can learn something here from this OG or whatever, right? And
Facts.
Harry O was showing him the contracts of everybody who
Yeah.
was out. Like, yo, this Eazy-E contract, this was Dr. Dre, this is this guy, this is that guy. So that's
Right.
how he was able to learn all the music business and be able to move behind the scenes with Corrupt and stuff
Right.
like that. Because I'm like, he was getting the knowledge from Harry O. So I love that part of it. And here's the thing, y'all mean for that also like, it's not like they said it, but I know Haitian Jack kind of alluded to it. Really, him and Pac downfall, right? You know what I'm saying? And he didn't come out and say this, right? But they both were with Madonna, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say like this, right? You don't have to be a genius, you know what I mean, to put that together. Two
Right.
guys with the same woman, somebody's going to be offended over that situation. It's
Right.
never going to be like it might, even if it start out, oh man, you know, well shoot, she for everybody. Guess
Right.
what? One of your homies ain't gonna feel that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everybody, y'all mean, has seen that situation play out before with guys you know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You
Right.
know, where it's like, yo, you know, she for everybody, and then your one homie, nah, she ain't for everybody, boy. Yo, what are you talking like that for? And all of this.
Yeah.
And you gotta break that shit up. Like, I mean, you gotta jump in the middle of that because these boys about to kill each other over a chick, you know what I mean, for who's free and she doing what she want to do.
Right.
But these guys aren't seeing it like that. So I think that's how the initial beef, the downfall with them started. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he didn't say it, but that's how I think, you know what I mean, for it
Yeah.
started.
He kind of alluded to it, like he wanted to seem as if, you know, because I think even Dallas Austin even said the same thing. Like, you know, Madonna, she was really feeling Haitian Jack,
Right.
bad boy, swagger, you know what I
Right.
mean? Carried himself well, knew how to talk. Whereas Pac was like a little bit different, you know, and Jack kind of mentioned that, was like, yo, Pac, you know, she would just, you know, he was popular during that time as well.
Yeah.
And he was saying how Pac was kind of like modeling him in the whole movie with Above the Rim, you know, kind of, you know, watching his movements and how he moved and things like that. People respected him and said Pac wanted that. But, you know, Mark, when I had text you, I said, man, we're starting to hear the similar stories about Pac from different lenses, you know what I mean, for different people. And it's all starting to come like in the center. Like everyone, like, yo, he wasn't really like that. Like, yo, he was like, you know, when Jack was like, yo, his name is Tupac, it's Tupac for he got two different Pacs in that body, you know what I mean?
Right,
Because it's so all over the place, you know what I mean? And you hear the stories, you saw some of the documentaries, you saw some of the movies, whether they were embellished or not. Everything was always to like, yo, dude was like really on some other stuff. Like he was, a lot of it was just for the fact that he was trying to blow up. You know what I mean? Suge was in his ear. Suge was creating that crazy wild pop persona. You know what I'm saying? And that's why his music kind of reflected that. Because you remember, you know, you go from Dear Mama, you know what I'm saying? Brenda's Got a Baby to now, you know, Hit 'Em Up. You know what I mean? Ambitious of a Rider. Yeah, it's just, those are almost like split personalities. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's a creator. He's a, you know, he's an artist. So of course, artists, they go different realms. You know, it makes them talented. But he lived that stuff out. He really lived out that side, that ambitious of a rider and the hit 'em up style that he was in. And like, you know, like Haitian Jack was saying, like, yo, when dude came out of prison and started blaming me for everything and started saying you gotta stay away from me and all that stuff, he knew something was going on then. And it tells you a lot, man. It says a lot about one of the most prolific rappers of our generation, of almost any generation of rap, right? Because Pac still has a loyal, strong fan base. But you're starting to, people starting to peel back that onion just a little bit more about who he really was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get it from different lens, you know?
Man, and I mean, people, man, you know, I mean, they ride for Pac, so I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I'm like, yo, the truth is the truth. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The truth is the truth. I'm like, he was a talent. He was a rapper. He was a good actor. He was really a good actor. I think he could have went on to be
Facts,
one of
you
the
know?
greats. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I understand all of that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But
That's why I
I'm
was
just
surprised. Like, dude was going in. Like, Haitian Jack, he held no punches. He was. I looked at my Wiz. I'm like, yo, he does he know that Pac is dead? Like, he was
yeah.
talking that, like,
But
yo,
you
I'm
know
still
what though?
talking to you.
I'm gonna say like this though, man. When you that cool with somebody, they was like brothers, man. You know what I mean? He was big brother. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of dissolves like that. You know what I'm saying? The way that it did, and I get it. You know what I mean? Shug's in his ear, like yo, the more controversy, the more records, you know what I mean, will sell. And Pac
Right,
ran with that. And Pac always was a guy, you know what I mean, who had to have a big brother type around him. You know what I'm
right.
saying? For a Suge Knight, yeah, Haitian Jack before that, and it was, you know what I mean, for Digital Underground and those guys before that. Like, you know
Yep.
what I mean? Instead of just like, yo, I'm just standing on my own, I'm me. You know what I mean? For he always had to have that OG like around
Right,
him. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You know, to
right.
some sort of, I guess, validation or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but I'm just like, you know, that's kind of how it was, and I get it. Yeah, I mean, for with Jack, I get where he was coming from. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people want to try to blame him for, you know what I mean, for what happened to Pac from the studio or whatever. But I'm
yeah.
just like, I don't, yeah, I mean, it's so many stories about that. We don't
So many
really know
stories.
really what happened. But one thing I would say is Haitian Jack's official. You know what I mean, anybody, you know what I mean, who follow this story or talks to anybody from New York, you know what I mean, they know that's true. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I mean, real recognize real. You know what I mean? Just because him and Pac got into it, don't mean he less real. It just
right,
means, you know what I mean, for to me, I just see big brother and little brother getting into it and not
right,
able to resolve it. I don't think, you know what I mean, for it's nothing else, you
right.
know what I mean, for other than that. I wanted to move the Bimmy real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because this
definitely.
man, I'm gonna tell you, you know what's crazy though with Bimmy, right? I'm gonna go and see my brother on Friday, my brother Mike, right? Now my brother Mike worked for Def Jam when Bimmy worked for Def Jam, right? So they're
Yeah,
cool. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I can't wait to hear the stories from my brother. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah,
because he's watching it too. So, like, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But it's you know what I mean? And he kind of explained, like, look, I'm coming out of jail, and he's like, yo, I just needed a job, right?
Right.
And you know, I mean, he got on with Def Jam and everything like that, leveraged the situation with Tommy Mottola, who was running Sony.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Tommy
mean, to get a
Mottola.
better
Yep.
job at Def Jam, so that's just, you know what I'm saying, when you go from the streets and then you go to business, you know what I mean, you able to maneuver like that, which
Right.
which is great, you know what I'm saying? And one thing that I caught from him that I loved, he was like, man, he's like, yo, he's like, yo, he's like, yeah, I'm stupid for not trademarking the GOAT.
Yo, when he said
He
that,
had
yeah,
LL's album, you know what I mean? And they
yeah,
named it the GOAT. Had he
yeah.
trademarked it on the spot, Bimmy will still be getting paid to this day
To
to use
this
the word.
day, I
You know what
was.
I'm
He
saying?
said that. I was like,
I was hurt.
yo,
I was hurt for him. I'm like,
yeah,
dang, Bimmy. Ah.
yeah. But Mark, the crazy thing about it, like, I don't know how that went over my head during that time because even on that was one of my favorite L joints. Like, I was
Yeah,
in Japan when that album came out, The Go, and I
right.
remember the first song. He was like, "Bimmy, you a fool for this one." Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Who is Bimmy? Who is this guy?" Like, all these years, I never pieced all of that together.
Right.
I've heard Bimmy's name in so many records, and
Mm-hmm.
you hear his name in so many stories around Queens.
Right.
I never pieced it together because even when the Supreme Team thing went down, his
Yeah.
name was out there,
Yeah.
but you never heard it. I never pieced it together until now. Like, yo, Bimmy, Waka
Yeah.
Flocka Uncle, like all that stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah.
How? Like, how did this happen? Like, how did
Yeah.
I miss all of this, all these years? How did I
Yeah.
miss all of that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? With his story or whatever. And then
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, because his story was crazy to me because like I like, yeah, I'm saying I didn't know I met him until I talked to my brother. He's like, yeah, you met him. He was over at the house, like, for something. Yeah, I mean, for some celebration they were having or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But like everything, everybody he had beef with there, like Kevin Lyles and the lady Tina. I met them too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow, that's real wild. You know what I mean? For how that whole situation went down. So I'm just like, man, like I said, I'm gonna give y'all the update when I talk to my brother. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
come back, you know what I mean, maybe tell y'all a couple stories or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that was wild though, man. But
yeah,
let me move on to Trick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Trick,
yeah.
his thing was crazy because it was just like, yo, right before Eminem got with Dr. Dre, and I mean right before, right? He was supposed to, you know what I mean, for like, yo, we go do some tracks together or whatever. And then
Right,
I tried to get in touch with him. He's just like, yeah, man, he out in LA with Dr. Dre
right,
and got signed like right then. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, so he just like, all right, well, Proof still my brother. I got Proof, right? All of
right.
a sudden he called Proof out in LA
He was
with
going
Dr.
too.
Dre.
Yeah.
He's like,
He
he
was,
just
yo,
missed
like gone. Yeah.
he just missed those guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right before they got big or whatever, particularly Eminem. So that was kind of wild though. He laughed about it, and I mean, we all laughed about it, but
Right.
it's like that's kind of wild though because like these two boys who you knew, you know what I
Right.
mean? You knew them as young boys, and then
Right.
boom, you know what I mean? They just blew up like right like a week later. You know what I mean? That's what it
Right.
seemed like.
And he was laughing it off, but I'm like, you got part of you gotta be like, you mother. But at the same time, at the same time, man, I don't. If M would have stayed in that camp in Detroit, he wouldn't be the M we know today.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean? He wouldn't be the M we know today. Dre really, like you said a long time ago, Dre really made Eminem. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And Eminem also, in respect, gave Dre a second win.
yeah,
After Dre was kind of like in that creative mystery at that one point. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
When he was trying to do the East Coast killer, West Coast killer thing, and that didn't really went anywhere.
yeah.
He was trying to figure himself out again. And Eminem kind of, probably gave him some more life, if you will. So they were a perfect mix for each other.
I think
Um,
I mean it put some life back in Detroit too because
think
I
so.
think
Yeah.
those guys really didn't get far away from home.
Right,
M
right,
always went back to Detroit, and Proof obviously went back. And I think
right.
it kind of gave life to the other MCs like Royce Five
And
Nine,
Royce came
some of
out.
those other guys. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I mean,
Yeah.
you should be happy that M got on with Dre because it kind of shined a light on some of the other guys from Detroit who were nice that we just
We
didn't
just
know
didn't know.
about. You
Right,
know?
we just didn't get it because they didn't really have their own style at the time. Like Trick
Right.
said, he was listening to other, like the West
Yeah.
Coast,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they didn't have anything that was synonymous with them. We knew the West Coast, they were
Mm-hmm.
synonymous with gangster music. That's
Yeah.
where that's what they had. So they didn't really have a true sound. Their
Right.
sound was more gritty. It was Midwest, but you can't really point it out to be Midwest during that time. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So everything happens for a reason.
Good.
I think overall, man, both episodes were dope. I think to me, like going even back to the first two episodes, I think these two, three, and four were like the best because
Yeah.
they really dive into a lot of things that start piecing some things together. Where like if you were a hip hop head during that era, like okay, now it makes sense. I can see how
Yeah.
all that kind of came together,
Mhm.
and it makes sense now. Like I was just happy to hear. I was just very glad to hear some of those stories. I'm like, man, this
Yeah.
brings me back. I remember that Goat album. I remember
Yeah.
That Would Not Be
Hmm.
Me. I remember all of those things during that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, one thing that I like though, when they got all these five together, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, you you know what I'm saying, when they're speaking, and then you're thinking about the stories that you heard
Right.
about them before. I mean, man, authentic just sounds authentic.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? This
yeah,
don't sound like something like I ain't sure. Like, nah. You know
yeah.
what I mean? You piecing it together from what you kind of yummy thought you knew or might have heard. You know what I mean? You piecing that together, man. So I'm just like, yo.
Right.
So and the one thing about these episodes, it leads you to piece more things together, right? So I'm waiting for, you know what I mean, and they alluded to this, right? Deb hooked up with Gucci Man when Gucci Man got out of jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I want to see how that went. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, because she was just like, yo, he's somebody, that, what I mean, he wanted to do something different with his life. You know what I'm saying? And I believed in him. And I'm like,
Right.
man, oh, that's how that started.
How that
So
started.
I want to see how that goes and it gets to her son,
Mm.
Waka Flocka. And I
Right.
want to see how that's going to play. So
Right.
I'm very interested, in all these stories, man, and how they're moving. I just like how
Yeah.
all of this is moving right there because it's like an
Right.
authenticity that you really do not get most times. You know what I mean?
Oh,
With people, man, and we get it with all five of these individuals
you
in
do.
the story, man. So I feel real good about it, and I can't wait for the next episodes to
I
come on.
wonder if they're gonna, and they may stay away from it, but I wonder if they're gonna touch on anything with Bimmy and and 50, because Bimmy's relationship with Supreme Team and his
Hmm.
loyalty to Supreme, and just the industry itself. I wonder if they ever cross paths at any point, because I've never heard 50 said anything about Bimmy, and it might be a reason for that. It might be it
Yeah,
might be a reason for that. You know what I mean? But I wonder if they want to connect any of that with, because 50 Cent, his story is like forever ingrained into Supreme as well,
yeah,
regardless of how you want to chop it up, the whole Murder Inc. thing and all that stuff. So I wonder if they're going to stay away from that for obvious reasons, which I think they probably would. But I would not be surprised if that's not on the table. I think 50 would have to sign off on that if they were to mention anything about that. But I don't know
yeah,
if he would, knowing the person that he is, I don't think he would want to sign off on anything like that,
yeah.
because it may bring up some stories that he probably want to get into.
Yeah, and they probably, kind of have a street code agreement, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
about some
I can
certain
see that.
things. So I could see
Yeah.
that happening. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, from what you've seen of Benny, heard of Benny, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I mean, real solid individual, just a
Yeah.
very, very solid individual.
Very thorough dude. Yeah.
I don't know if you just going to just throw his name under the bus like that. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean?
And be careful with
I don't
that.
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
So,
absolutely. I'm
yeah,
saying,
Deb is very passionate. I
yeah,
think
absolutely.
Deb, I saw, like, again, I was glad to see this portion of Deb, because love and hip hop doesn't do justice for
No,
a lot of our people,
not at
right?
all. Not at all.
They make characters of those guys, unfortunately. And I think that this really showed you how thorough Deb is, like how thorough she was and how she still is. Very passionate about the business, but very, very passionate about the industry itself. And she's very thorough. And, just the fact to see that and also see the other side of what, love and hip hop try to portray, I think it's really good to see this side of things as well.
Absolutely.
Again, really good show. I can't wait to this week's episode to see what they're going to dive into next.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good again. I think it's going to continue to build up into the final episode. So I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Man, good show tonight, man. We get into a lot of stuff, man. I'm almost hoarse. You know what I mean? Got a lot of good stuff tonight. Before we log out, man, rest in peace, man. To the legend, man. One of the legends of hip hop, man. Prince Marky D, man, from the
Yeah.
Fat Boy.
Absolutely.
Heard that news. He was only 52 years old, man. Straight legend, man. I remember I was watching, man, Crush Groove a couple of weeks ago, man. He was in Crush Groove, man. It just, it is that one. That's different. It hit different, man. So rest in peace to the legend, man. Prince
Yeah.
Marky D from the Fat Boys.
Yeah.
Definitely rest in peace, and much love to his family, man. That they are able to get through this very challenging and difficult time, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
tough one. Another tough
Yeah.
one.
I mean, and we know Buffy, I mean, had passed away some years back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? For real. So keep Cool Rashki in your prayers. You know what I
absolutely,
mean? That's two of his brothers right there.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? For real, that had passed away. And Kurashki, like last time, I had seen an
That's a
interview with
movie.
him, you know what I mean? For real, he lost like a lot of weight, keeping
Yep,
himself, you know what I mean, for real good, you know what I
yep,
mean, and everything like that, man. So prayer, you know
yep.
what I mean, prayers up with Kurashki, man, you know what I mean, for real, for his
Absolutely.
loss of his brothers, man, you know what I'm saying? And prayers, you know what I mean, to Marky D's family. He had a great second act from rapper
He
to
did.
radio
He did.
personality, you know what I mean?
He did.
It's a lady who does the Power 99 power station here. You
Yep,
know what I mean, who worked with Prince Marky D in Miami. You know what I
yep.
mean? And she had nothing but wonderful things, you know what I mean, for her to say about him. And
Yeah.
a lot of people did. A lot of people thought, you know what I mean, for real, Prince Marky D was really, really, really just a awesome individual, man. So, you know what I mean, prayers up to him, his family, his friends, man. And we won't forget you.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So I'll wrap up, man. Again, another good show tonight, homie. We talked about a
Yeah,
lot of stuff. and we had so much we had on the table that we kind of took off because we wanted, to the meat and potatoes tonight. But there's a lot that we got more to talk about next week, man. So this is gonna be like be continued, if you will. Shout out to YouTube, shout out to Facebook Live, shout out to Blackjack TV, channel 199, Zingo TV. Shout out to the fellows, man, to the guys, and our support. You know what I mean? Shout out to Stacks. That's behind the scenes. He did this on his own. You know what I mean? He was making some editorial changes because I was messing up the day on the edit. So I appreciate Stacks, man, for making some editorial changes on the last minute. Shout out to Tina, shout out to Becca, shout out to Merv, shout out to the family, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to my Wiz, my little girl. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to you, Marc. You brought your A game again tonight, man. You're on a roll. Man, we got a lot we want to get into next week. I can't wait till next week. Before we get to that, though, our guys gonna come back tomorrow night and hit you across the head with some good feel-good movies, man. We're gonna watch. We actually gonna be getting into The Banker, Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson. Of course, Anthony Mackie, the Falcon, Winter Soldier fame. Yeah. Of course, Samuel Jackson, who played in 1,000 movies. You know what I mean? So those boys, they're going to get into it tomorrow, man. It's going to be a really good movie. I'm looking forward to that. The feedback that I got from the public, man, on Stacks, the Stacks has been like in a different bag, man. He's been on some other shit the last few weeks, man. So a lot of people are looking forward to hearing what Stacks got to say, how you going to wrap up some of these things. So I'm looking forward to it myself, man. But bruh, we come back tomorrow and we go back on Wednesday night as well with some new material, new things to talk about, new things to discuss, new things to get involved. So we out here, man. You know the vibes, man. We out here. What you got, homie?
Man, you know what I'm saying? It's so many topics we could have got into. I'm getting hit on the text like, yo, you gonna talk about this, you gonna talk about that. We're gonna try to get to some of those next week if we can. It's some real good things happening, you know what I'm saying, coming down. So we're gonna try to get to them as soon as we can, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'll leave off, you know what I mean, with another sports note. You know what I mean? For a shout to another one of my nieces, you know what I mean, named Athlete of the Week in Pennsylvania, you know what I'm saying? She's a diver, full scholarship to North Carolina State. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, we gonna be down there doing that. I don't know how my niece is a great diver and, you know, I'm an okay swimmer. I don't know, the family genes ain't really cross over like that, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to shout my niece Amari, you know what I mean? Go do your thing. As far as everything else, it's a lot coming up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So we got a lot, you know, just already, you know what I mean, going on for next week. He was like, yo, what's up with the All-Star game? We will get to that. You know what I mean? We will get to Bobby Shmurda. We will get to, you know what I mean, for real, you know what I mean, Coach Prime and Deion Sanders. We will get to all of that for you. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, man. So, I mean, it's all love, man. And thanks, Shawn, man. You know what I'm saying? For real, great show. And, you know what I mean, for real, you know, we the vibes. You know the vibes. You know how we do. You know what I mean? We out this thing, yo.
Yes, sir. Peace.
No doubt.